MJF responds to criticism after referencing undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes in his AEW Dynamite promo last night with Dustin Rhodes. The Young Bucks open up on a future AEW return. Seth Rollins discusses Hulk Hogan getting booed on the Netflix premiere episode of Monday Night Raw. Jimmy Jacobs discusses his exit from AEW. Chris Jericho opens up on the please retire chants, the Jericho Vortex criticism, and the Learning Tree gimmick in a new interview with Chris Van Vliet. Roman Reigns has teased going after the World Heavyweight Championship. iShowSpeed says he's never going to return to WWE after his Royal Rumble appearance last weekend. Alexa Bliss made her return at the Royal Rumble, and reportedly it got Hollywood's attention. CM Punk is confirmed for an upcoming WWE European tour, and Tyler Bate is set for a Monday Night Raw return soon. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with MJF hitting out at criticism after his AEW Dynamite promo last night with Dustin Rhodes. Now, AEW's MJF has responded to criticism about him referencing WWE champion Cody Rhodes during his most recent promo. During the February 5th edition of AEW Dynamite, MJF initially took shots at Jeff Jarrett before Hangman Adam Page came to the ring to address the salt of the earth. Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion Dustin Rhodes would then appear to address MJF's attitude, with both men growing increasingly more intense, with Rhodes taking issue with MJF disparaging his friends and battles with addiction before reminding the younger star that he's been through everything in his decades-long career. MJF would verbally retaliate, dropping reference to Rhodes' addiction before bringing up Dusty Rhodes and dropping in reference to living in the shadow of Cody Rhodes. Now, former WWE referee Jimmy Corderas took issue with MJF referencing WWE's Cody Rhodes in his promo, sarcastically tweeting the following, saying, quote, "Great job, MJF, of reminding your audience about the man who is on top in the other company." Now, MJF then was quick to respond to the former WWE referee's tweet by posting one of his own, quote tweeting it and saying, quote, "His brother, my mentor, a guy who helped shape me early on in my career, your old boss brainwashed you into believing we need to treat the fans like morons and pretend other wrestling companies don't exist. You dumb, ignorant, bold, grifting fuck. ... Respectfully." Now, what do you make of MJF's comments there? Is he right? Is he wrong? Let me know your thoughts about it. Of course, ahead of next week's AEW Dynamite, MJF has promised to put Dustin Rhodes into a retirement home. It is going to be, I guess, in a match next week on Dynamite on TBS. Now, the Young Bucks, when are they coming back to AEW? The Young Bucks haven't been on AEW television since losing the AEW World Tag Team Championships to Private Party at AEW Fright Night Dynamite. While they've been off AEW television, they have won the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles in New Japan Pro Wrestling and are set to defend them against Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi at New Japan's The New Beginning in Osaka. Speaking to Justin Barrasso of Undisputed, the Bucks commented on potential upcoming matches, quote, "Work for anything and everything," said Matt. "It would be an honor to wrestle Tanahashi one last time. He can pick whomever he wants to team with, even if it's Kenny. We have a pretty good idea when we'll report back to work at AEW, and if we're still having to pack those bouts every time we travel, we'd be happy to bring them to AEW Dynamite. I'd love to do that match," added Nick. "We have had many matches with Tana, but I'd love to get in there at least one more time before he calls it a career. Same goes with Kenny. That's the thing I think wrestling fans take for granted. We have no clue how many more matches any of us have left in the tank. I try to enjoy every match like it's my last these days." Now, the Bucks left AEW TV saying the place had gotten crazy and they were going to work from home. The Bucks won the titles at the New Japan AEW Wrestle Dynasty event, defeating Takahashi and Naito and Great-O-Khan and Jeff Cobb in a three-way bout. Tanahashi is in his final year as an active competitor as he's set to retire at Wrestle Kingdom 2026. Omega returned to AEW TV at AEW World's End and is set to team with Will Ospreay at AEW Grand Slam Australia against Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. Now, still people are talking about Hulk Hogan getting booed during the Netflix premiere episode of Raw, and Seth Rollins says there's a reason that the masses were booing Hulk Hogan. WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan was loudly booed when he appeared at the Raw on Netflix premiere, where he promoted his Real American beer. Speaking on Good Morning Football, Seth Rollins was asked about Hulk Hogan getting booed. He said, quote, "I am all for people getting what they deserve. That's how I feel about Hulk Hogan getting booed. If you see getting booed by the masses, there's a reason for it. I don't don't know if Hulk fully understands the scope, but people get what they deserve, so I'm happy to see it. I love to see it, and look, I said this before about the Hulkster. He's the guy that got me into this industry as far as love for professional wrestling, so I'll never take that away from him. What he's done for our business, I'll never take that away from him. But I do think there's some responsibility that he needs to own up to that he hasn't yet. Maybe when he finally figures that out, might be able to move forward with our fans, so we'll see. Now, Jimmy Jacobs, of course, he exited AEW recently. He's opened up about his departure from the company. In October of last year, it was reported that Jimmy Jacobs had departed AEW. Tony Khan has cited Jacobs as someone who helped in a backstage role, who sat on creative and production meetings. There were many online rumors regarding Jacobs' influence during his time with the company. Speaking to Mark O'Brien of bodyslam.net, Jacobs commented on his AEW departure. He said, quote, "I would challenge anybody to name one segment that I wrote and produced at AEW," Jacobs said. "Mostly what I did at AEW was admin stuff. I was a channel for information. There were people that had this narrative that I was a leak in WWE, which I absolutely 100% was not. It was just a complete fabrication. I still honestly haven't gotten used to being judged by lies." Speaking about Tony Khan and the challenges he faced with AEW, Jacob said, quote, "Tony Khan had a lot to juggle from the beginning. It's not just about putting on good wrestling, it's about building a brand, keeping fans happy, and keeping a roster of talent motivated. Tony always knew there was going to be criticism, whether it's about creative decisions, the talent roster, or how AEW was performing compared to WWE. It's all part of being in the spotlight. Tony didn't take it personally, but he definitely had to find ways to manage that pressure. It's about communication. Tony has always been really transparent with the talent. AEW is a place where wrestlers have more control over their characters and how they're portrayed on TV, but that also means they expect more. Tony had to manage that balance between giving talent the creative freedom they wanted and making sure the overall product worked. AEW has never been static. There's always something new, and that's something Tony has been really good at, constantly evolving the product to keep the fans engaged. It's tough because you're competing against the biggest wrestling company in the world, but Tony has really carved out a niche for AEW. Now, Fightful Select previously reported that Jacobs cited burnout and not wanting to travel as much as a reason for wanting to finish up, and there was no ill will regarding his departure from All Elite Wrestling. Now, Chris Jericho, he spoke on a wide variety of topics recently. Jericho has revealed how he originally planned to respond to Please Retire chants from the fans. The Ring of Honor World Champion has previously stated that he's currently enjoying working in something that he enjoys with no sign of retirement in his near future. Fans, however, have been chanting "Please retire" at the AEW star, something that he reflected upon in an appearance on Insight with Chris Van Vliet. Unfortunately, despite Jericho's apparent enthusiasm for the chant, it appears to have ebbed in popularity, though the AEW star could have turned it into merch, as he explains to Van Vliet, saying, quote, "I mean, it's one of those things. When they were really at their peak, of course, I'm always thinking, okay, I can make a t-shirt out of that. I can make a whole angle out of this, but it kind of went away. They kind of stopped. Plus, I was really good at being able to shut people down. Like New York, please retire. I take the mic and say, I know why you want me to retire, because you want me to go pitch for the New York Yankees so they could possibly win a World Series, but that's not going to happen. Boo, and then they stop. It's something that Seinfeld said years ago, or any great stand-up comedian. I've got the mic, you can't heckle somebody when the guy has the louder voice. So yeah, please retire was a good one, that was fun. Jericho would go on to reveal he doesn't take the chants personally, and he's well aware that his popularity extends beyond that AEW reaction, stating, quote, I don't take it personally. Nobody who really knows me that says that stuff, and probably if I saw them on the street, they probably say hi. Whenever I do a convention or something like that, my lines are down the street. That's not from an egotistical standpoint, but I've been doing this a long time, and a lot of people have great memories from different eras that I've been in. Now, Jericho also opened up on the criticism of the Jericho Vortex. He's addressed the criticism that he drags stars down in a phenomenon referred to among some fans as the Jericho Vortex. The Ring of Honor World Champion addressed the suggestion that he doesn't elevate other stars in a recent interview. Once again, speaking with Chris Van Vliet, the Learning Tree explored the perception that some fans have of him, stating, quote, it's funny how I've become kind of public enemy number one as a heel, by the way. Isn't that kind of the idea? Aren't you supposed to be public public enemy number one as a heel? Aren't you supposed to not like somebody's character when that character is a heel? Maybe I'm actually smarter than everyone and I'm manipulating people to what I want them to do. Jericho would go on to note that segments in which he involved tend to perform well before exploring the Jericho Vortex fan theory, saying, quote, I always loved the concept of the Jericho Vortex and how anybody that works with me gets dragged down. Name one. Name one person that got dragged down from working with me. Maybe afterwards they didn't go higher, but that's not up to me. I'm not in charge of booking the entire company. All I can do is influence the storylines that I work on. But everybody that I can think of who worked with me certainly went to a higher level. I did a year with MJF and look where he's at. Danny Garcia, Sammy Guevara, Daddy Magic last week comes off commentary and gets a big pop. Who do you think put him in that position? All of those guys. I mean, I think Big Bill and Brian Keith have grown by leaps and bounds from working here with me. I'm not going to go through the entire cast of characters, but I definitely know what my intentions are. And it's not to bury anybody. It's to build as many people as I can and give them experience so they can learn how to start shouldering things on their own. He also spoke about how the learning tree came together. Of course, the faction came together during the summer of last year, a time when Big Bill and Brian Keith weren't doing much of anything in either AEW or Ring of Honor. Now, alongside Jericho, Bill and Keith are featured on television almost every week and have shared the ring with the likes of Cope, Rocky Romero, Mark Briscoe, and Katsuyori Shibata. In a new interview with Chris Van Vliet, Chris Jericho revealed some key information about the faction, saying Bryan Danielson suggested the inclusion of Big Bill. On the other hand, Tony Khan suggested the inclusion of Brian Keith. Quote, now with the learning tree, Big Bill, what a great suggestion that was to work with him. It was Bryan Danielson's suggestion for Big Bill and Tony Khan's suggestion for Brian Keith. Didn't even know Brian Keith. Same thing as Daniel Garcia. Same thing as Sammy Guevara. Don't know this guy, know nothing about it. All right, now it's really cool to work with those guys because they're coming into their own. Brian Keith is just hilarious with just everything he says. Bill has really embraced the wise man following the guru of the learning tree. He's just a killer, and people chanting his name nightly, that's something we've noticed as well. It's just been really cool to work with all these people, and they're getting more TV time and learning and working with major players. How is that a bad thing in any way, shape, or form? Now, Roman Reigns, of course, he had the record-breaking run with the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, but Reigns is now teased challenging for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, a title he's yet to hold since its introduction in April of 2023. The title was created at a time when Roman Reigns, as undisputed WWE Universal Champion, held both the WWE Championship and the WWE Universal Championship. In a comment made on the No Contest Wrestling podcast, Reigns seemed to suggest that he could be the WWE star to elevate the gold, saying, quote, if we're trying to lift the value, you know what waist it's supposed to go on. Now, of course, at SummerSlam last year, Gunther defeated Damian Priest to become the World Heavyweight Champion, with Jey Uso winning the men's Royal Rumble match on February 1st, 2025. Gunther was named as his opponent, or seemingly is going to be named as his opponent for WrestleMania 41 in April. Now, I Show Speed, of course, was a big hit during the Royal Rumble last weekend, and he's reflected on his Royal Rumble appearance and decided that he's not going back, listing his injuries as a deciding factor. The social media influencer appeared in the men's Royal Rumble match on February 1st and succumbed to a spear from Bron Breakker and was then thrown over the announce table by Otis. Following his short time in the Royal Rumble, Speed shared a backstage photo sporting crutches and a neck brace with it, also being noted that he'd suffered a legitimate gash to the leg. The injuries that led to the neck brace and crutches have clearly made I Show Speed rethink his future as a WWE superstar, according to a recent live stream with Kai Cenat, in which he jokingly said, quote, bro, I'm not going back to WWE. He said, why? What do you mean why? I broke my damn neck and I messed up my rib cage. I couldn't walk for 2 days. I couldn't walk for 2 damn days. Now, Alexa Bliss, she made her return at the Royal Rumble, and reportedly it got Hollywood's attention. The Royal Rumble often throws up a number of surprises, with a major one in the 2025 edition of the show being an appearance of Alexa Bliss in the Women's Rumble match. Fans have reacted positively to her long-awaited return, as she's been away from WWE for 2 years, and it seems that their reaction also caught the attention of Hollywood. PW Insider has reported that the ovation Bliss received upon her entrance has caught the attention of the Hollywood world. The report has attributed it to WWE now being on Netflix, with the entertainment world seemingly keen to cast WWE stars in their movies and TV shows. Bliss has been a part of a few TV shows and movies, which include the likes of Punky Brewster and Fight Like a Girl. Bliss, who had last wrestled on WWE television in January 2023 at that year's Royal Rumble, entered this year's Rumble at number 21 and lasted just over 11 minutes in the match. She was reportedly a last-minute addition to the match, as she was not penciled in as late as Friday due to contract negotiations with WWE, but eventually replaced Shotzi in the match. Bliss will be a part of SmackDown and could join the Wyatt Six faction. The Wyatt Six will move to the Blue brand as part of WWE's transfer window, but they've not been featured on WWE television over the last few weeks, rumoured due to an injury to one of their members. Now, CM Punk, he will be on the WWE European Tour that is upcoming very soon. Now, CM Punk is coming to Europe. WWE has announced CM Punk will be part of the European Tour. Punk will be part of the following events: Belfast on March 22nd, Nottingham on March 23rd, Vienna on March 29th, and Amsterdam on March 30th. Punk last wrestled in Europe at the infamous AEW All In London event, of course his final AEW appearance in his match against Samoa Joe inside Wembley Stadium. His last WWE European tour was in 2013. And finally, Tyler Bate is on his way back to WWE television. WWE superstar Tyler Bate is reportedly closing in on a return to the ring after spending over 6 months on the sidelines due to an injury he suffered on NXT. Reports are stating that Bate, who wrestled briefly on Raw before his injury, could return to the Red brand later this month. As per PW Insider, the English star has been cleared to get in the ring once again, and he could feature on Raw in the following weeks, with a tentative date being the February 24th edition of the show, which will be held at the Heritage Bank Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. A report from last month had also indicated that Bate was closing in on a return to WWE television. Bate suffered the injury on NXT last July when he and New Catch Republic teammate Pete Dunne wrestled Hank and Tank. The 27-year-old star later revealed he had torn his pectoral muscle tendon off his left shoulder and he had to undergo surgery to repair it. Bate debuted on the main roster in January of last year, which saw him and Dunne wrestle on SmackDown before they were drafted to Raw as part of the 2024 WWE Draft. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.